Welcome back. A visiting delegation of students from Taiwan has shown keen interest in the island's social protection systems, with the students quizzing the nation's health minister and social transformation minister on policy issues. We're taking this report on the courtesy call the students paid to Minister Harold Dalson.
During an annual visit to St. Lucia, Taiwanese youth ambassadors interacted with the Minister and Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Social Transformation, Local Government and Community Empowerment. The delegation was accompanied by His Excellency James Chang, Ambassador of the Republic of China on Taiwan, to St. Lucia. One youth ambassador majoring in civic education in Taiwan took the opportunity to explore the possibility of sharing her knowledge and skills for the betterment of the vulnerable people in St. Lucia.
Social protection, social safety are all in my studying field. And I'm wondering that now as an undergraduate, our department always teaches us to have a compassionate heart, which is also like our title of our youth ambassadors this year, Youth for Taiwan, Compassion for All. And I'm wondering that now as an undergraduate, is there any ways or chances that we can not only contribute our expertise, not only in Taiwan, but also here with our friends in Lucia? Like, it's like any chances that we can come here to be volunteers, or it's like after we graduate.
Her inquiry was met with marked enthusiasm by Minister Dalsa.
Social work in small developing countries like ours is always important and always very necessary. And so somebody like you who is studying to be an expert in that field, we'll be glad you welcome to St. Lucia. And I'm certainly sure we can make arrangements between our two countries as to the terms and conditions. But most certainly, if you come, you'll be most welcome.
Another suggestion from a Taiwanese student majoring in special education that was well received by ministry officials was the inclusion of a group of differently abled or vulnerable youth from St. Lucia in next year's cultural exchange program.
We work with a number of the special education centers and these communities. And I think if we can use the dance, because they use a lot of arts and as therapy for these young people. So if we can do dance as well, I think that's something we can facilitate that kind of, even in our after school program, as Minister just mentioned. We have an after-school program that works with a number of vulnerable communities. This ministry is running that program. And in that program, we do a lot of the arts, and we do dance, and we do music. So that's another way that we can collaborate.
The group was briefed on the work of the ministry, while they provided feedback on their observations and experience in St. Lucia thus far. From the Ministry of Social Transformation, Local Government, and Community Empowerment, I am Adara King.
St. Lucia, sweet!
Meantime, Minister Alvina Reynolds was questioned on her ministry's management of the psychosocial needs of the population.
It seems that your country of St. Lucia is put so many emphasis on psychological health, like children or some women. And I'm just wondering if there is any other project or some activities that are held in St. Lucia for the psychological health.
We deal with women who are abused. We also deal with children who are also vulnerable. We are also responsible for the elderly in this country, and so we help to support homes for the elderly. We have a home for the elderly in the south, in Viewfort, and we've elderly folks who live full-time. It's a residential place for elderly people, as well as we support homes or establishments where elderly folks come during the day to learn a skill, to interact, to socialize, as well as we are responsible for persons with disabilities. And there is a council for and with persons with disabilities that we support in terms of helping them get wheelchairs, getting them that kind of psychological support for them, and also the basic needs. But we try to empower them. We do not control the establishment, but we support them. We look over what they do for persons with disabilities. So we look over the elderly as well, because we have an establishment that helps to manage. But our Department of Human Services is responsible for abused women and children with problems, persons with disabilities, as well as the elderly. And we take care of all of these. Persons with mental health issues, we try to see how we have a rehabilitation center, the wellness center, and of course we try to take care of them at the community level as much as possible. We have not gotten it exactly perfect yet, but we're working on it.